I guess she's a busy person. What are we doing?
Back attacks.
Oh, ooh.
I'm going to be showing back retention stuff today, so you can show one submission if you'd like.
Submission?
Yeah.
All right, Eric, hit it. Eric. Oh, he's like Eric.
All right, now everyone can hear me. All right, so today's going to be a bit of a short one because I'm just having a rough one, and dang it. I don't what. Hold on. So today is going to be. I found this really great YouTube video of Georges St. Pierre rolling with the black belt. Anyone who doesn't know who GSP is, he's considered one of the best. He's considered the best welterweight of all time in MMA. He's a great personal sports hero of mine, just a stand-up guy and martial artist. And after he retired in about 2013, I think he's been doing a lot of grappling. And he's always been a very good grappler. It's actually very interesting how he started in Canada, where there's no scholastic wrestling program, and became not only the best MMA wrestler, but he also trained with the Canadian wrestling team. And he was out wrestling D1 All-Americans like Josh Koscheck and others. Just a really good grappler. But we're just going to look at 30 seconds of this, and we're going to admire the beauty. It's going to be a very slight technical breakdown, but I just want everyone to see how his ease in which he rolls. All right, this is at normal speed. All right, so we're gonna play that back at 50%. So it starts out, GSP gets the back. You can see him shifting his weight when the guy's back to manipulate him right there. This part right here is interesting. He's going to shift his weight in it like a U. And right now he has his hands like that, and it's going to break the frame down here. Now, as that frame crumbles, he's going to grasp the wrist with his left hand, and he's just going to calmly roll. So he already has control of, I don't know who this dude's name is, of his wrist. And from here, it's a great thing to go for. An arm bar. Right. As he defends GSP with that, I just want to just see how it's really funny just to see his Cheshire cat grin as he's just so gently kicking this guy's ass. What's interesting is seeing how he's being very relaxed about it. He's when this guy moves somewhere to counter, GSP will just move with him in a very fluid manner. You can see right here that armbar doesn't work, and the guy tries the hitchhiker escape. GSP is still smiling. Up right into an omoplata, and he sits up. And he lets the guy roll, takes the mount, takes this. He's already isolated the arm, and he's going to roll for the arm bar. Now, what really struck me about all of this, I was up on the deck Saturday morning, and I was with some coffee, and I was watching this, and I remember this exact moment. How GSP lets the guy roll through all the way, and his timing so perfect as the guy's turning into him, he just takes mount, then takes back mount and isolates the arm. To me, that was just so ridiculous. He literally let the guy roll, and his timing was so good that he just moved in. And it reminded me of something. Back in 2017, GSP came back and he fought Michael Bisping for the middleweight title. And what happened was, after a really rough first round, he hit Bisping with the counter left and dropped him and started swarming with ground and pound. Typically, when you're trying to finish the fight with ground and pound, you don't want to give him any space. You don't want to give him any room to breathe, and you want the ref to jump in right away. So it was very unusual when he just stopped and let Bisping, it almost looked like he just stepped back and let Bisping recover, but he didn't. You can see it right here, what he's going to do. This was after about 30 seconds of ground and pound. He's just going to kind of let him up and then sink in the rear naked choke. So seeing that, I was like, did he just wait and just let him turn over and have the patience to then go and strike? And it was said by the man himself in the post-fight interview, and we're just going to leave it here. It's just a little tiny quote from him. So that's it from the man himself. I just thought it was really cool seeing how he just his beautiful transitions and patience. Anyhow, back to Junior and Kristina.
Sorry.
Good. Sorry, but we got lost in
we got lost.
on like a discussion about jiu-jitsu and back retention. So I'm so sorry, man.
But I saw that there was really good content there with GSP,
Yeah,
showing
with GSP,
him
so
like
good choice.
applying what he does in the gi, and then applying it in the ring with MMA, which is always really cool. That's why I always get really excited whenever I get to watch UFC. I don't typically watch all the time, but if I am watching, it's usually because I'm going to be watching someone who
For sure not.
is representative of jiu-jitsu, and I know that they're going to be able to show jiu-jitsu in their MMA. So it's like, you're like, oh, you don't like UFC, you don't like MMA. It's like, it's not so much I don't like it. It's just I kind of don't care unless I have a reason to care.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is a really good reason to care.
I think I'm the same. The era that I watched UFC the most was when Anderson was the Spider. That's it. Like, never cared too much for like watching people.
And GSP is like one of those people. It's like, man, you can't hate the guy. You can't not like the guy.
That guy is really, really.
I feel like he's as wholesome gets when it comes to. It comes to like
smart guy
MMA.
Too. Yeah, smart guy too.
Let's go wholesome.
So move on.
Yeah, your watch. We'll take that off.
That's fine.
Keep it on. All right. So we're gonna continue with back attacks this week. Junior's gonna start off with another way to take the back.
Simple way, and
Yep.
then I'll let Professor go with her retention.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be basic back retention stuff. It's not gonna be
Nothing too crazy.
yeah, it's not gonna be like the crazy stuff where we usually do all the drilling, like more advanced back retention techniques, but starting off with the basics, because this is something you can do at home. And then of course, once you have the basics down, then all the other added additions and changes are super easy. So
All right. So guys, this is another really simple way to get the person's back from turtle. Like really, really simple way. Sometimes we arrive on the back, like on the turtle, and the person has, protecting them really well. Sorry, really well. So what I like to do, of course, you wanna connect your hip line to their back. So you want to put pressure on their back here, right? So you connect your chest, hip line here, right? And sometimes I like to have just a seatbelt. I don't know why, but I feel safe doing it. If the person's moving, sometimes I like to do that. You don't need to do it. You can also grab the gi here, whatever you prefer to feel safe, right? So from here, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use my hand, you know, like the knee that I have next to the person's leg and arm. So I'll say this side, so my left side, right? This is the side that I'm gonna open, all right? So if my leg is this side, I'm gonna open this side. If I'm on this side, and if I'm on the right side, I'm gonna open the right leg, the person's right leg, right? So that's just to understand that. So pretty simple. So I'm right here, I'm gonna try to make a grip here on the pan or the gi. And now, like, I try to put my knee, like Professor showed, and she's defending. A lot of people do that. Easier way to just get the back is, look, I'm gonna use my hand, look. I'm gonna cup the knee, look. And I'm just gonna open the knee here. So it's closed. Can we get closer? Yeah, perfect. So right here, look, right here, I'm just gonna cup the knee and open. I can't just open and then stay here because the person is just gonna, move that. So here, I open and I insert my leg. She fell and I follow. Boom. So it's super simple, guys. This goes, in my view, it goes hand in hand with what Professor showed. That is one of my favorite ways to get the back. The one where she brings the knee in. That is one of my favorite ways because you have a lot of security. But if you feel like you can't bring the knee because the person is really, really tight, no problem. You just cup their knees and open. A lot of people, you catch a lot of people by surprise when you do that. Because here, nobody can stop you. Like if I do this, Professor, right? She won't be able to stop it. Look, you can put as much strength as you want. Yeah?
I won't be able to.
You just open, like you don't have strength to keep somebody from open your knee to the side. You don't have the strength. You have strength for them to not push you or here, but to the side, anybody can open, even a kid can do that. So I'll just show one more time. It's a pretty simple way, but it really works really well. So right here, you're on the total, and you try other ways to get the back. Person is defending, no problem. Cop, open, bring your leg in, boom, fall. All right, and then the rest. All right, that's it. Now, Professor's going to show her back retention. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so any questions on that, or any questions for Junior?
Jesus.
Yeah.
I prefer to be outside right now.
I prefer to be outside.
I prefer to be outside on the sun. This gym is hot.
The lights.
I know.
Questions? Maybe? No? All right. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Number one thing is too, is like when you are at turtle, right? Like before I get on to what I'm going to show, is make sure that you maintain this position, right? So having hip line to hip line is super important. Like from here, I'm not thinking of taking the back yet. From here, I'm thinking of how can I follow and stay attached? Because if he forward rolls and I don't do anything, then he's gonna recover guard. Or if I'm too far over here and he forward rolls, I'm gonna go for a ride in this position. Or if I'm not, so.
And at a black belt level and brown belt, they go a lot for your legs.
Yeah.
In this position, a lot of people do forward rolls to go and start attacking knees or legs.
And I also want to be able to follow him too. So if he is trying to roll one way, I should be able to stay behind, keeping my legs away, riding him, right? So, and once you get that concept, it gets really easy to take the back because now you're aware of. I'm so sorry.
Just cut your hair. Now I really want to.
You're going to be more aware of all your entries for taking the back, or at the very least, making sure that you're not going to regress in position, meaning he's still not going to recover his guard. So this is like you can actually go to knee on belly, go to mount from this position as well. So keep that in mind. Okay, before I use Junior to show the back retention drill, I'll show it what it looks like by yourself. So this one's really handy because, again, the drill you can do at home, right? You don't need a drill, you don't need a dummy for it, you don't need another person. Although if you do have a dummy or you do have a person to drill with, then it's gonna make a lot more sense, or you can actually feel being able to put your weight onto somebody else, right? So anytime that I'm talking about my back reset drills, right? I never actually want to fall backwards. I'm only going to be falling one side or another, okay? If I were to have a person here, right, the last thing I would want is their weight on top of me. So I would never, if I had someone's back, I would never willingly go backwards on my own. If I went backwards, that means my opponent is actually forcing, right? Because then they're going to bridge, and once they bridge, then they can choose a side to escape. So I myself, as the person attacking, will never fall straight backwards. I will only fall to one side or the other, right? Because typically we have one side that's going to be an attacking side and one side that's going to be not as strong. So there's an escaping side and there's going to be an attacking side, right? The side that they're more likely to escape and the side that they're more likely to attack, right? Now, when I have back control, right, especially if I have it with a seatbelt position, this is when I have a strong side and a weak side. But if I fall to my weak side, that means if I fall to the side that they're more likely to escape, I don't want to have to let go to switch my hands in order to have it strong again, right? Because the moment that I let go is going to be a very big opportunity for them to escape. So this is how we can maintain back control, regardless of if they fall to the attacking side or the escaping side. If they fall to the escaping side, we can bring them back to the attacking side. If we fall to attacking side, we can go straight to attacking. And if they force themselves to bring, like you fall to the side to attack, you try to bring themselves to escape, you'll be able to follow them and then bring them back to a side where you can attack, if that makes sense. I know I'm saying a lot of repeating words, but we're just talking about like the reactions. So starting from this position here where I'm sitting, and I'm gonna have my hands in front of me because this is gonna recreate hugging someone or holding someone. I'm gonna fall to one side. I can use my legs to kind of help me remember which side I'm gonna fall to, the same way that we would do for a hip escape. So since I'm gonna be falling to my right side first, I'll straighten my right side, just to make it easier for me to know that I'm gonna fall to my right side, okay? Since the left leg is up, I'm just gonna go ahead and bring that over, okay? Once I bring that over, I'm gonna be posting on my head and on my shoulder on the mat. I'm not gonna use my hands, so I'm just gonna keep my hands here. So I have to use both my feet to help bring me. So I can't just lift my hips. I have to use my other foot to help lift my hip up, and now look how I'm on my head and on my shoulder. My knee is kind of far behind me, so I need to kind of adjust until I can get to a point where I can have my knee and I can sit back to this position. And I can fall to the other side. I fall, I bring the leg over, I post on my head, my shoulder, I slide my knee up. Notice how my knee is not sliding in front of me, but it's sliding so that I can post onto it and I can come up to this position here, okay? Or just to here, to a seated position, right? So what does that look like fast? I fall to the side, bring it over, post, I slide, I sit. I straighten, I fall, bring it over, post, slide, sit. If you can't come up to this position here like I am, because you're not flexible enough, that's okay. You can fall, post, and look how like I slowly bring that leg up, and I can even like start using my elbow so I can come up to this position before sitting, okay? I can use my elbows just fine. I just can't use my hands, okay? I can use my elbow to help bump me up or push myself up if I need to, but I don't use my hands because my hands are gonna be connected, again, either to themselves or onto my opponent, okay? So again, fall to the side, over, side up, and look how I come back to a seated position again, and then I can fall together. Questions so far? Nope, okay. So now what does it look like with a partner? Or with a drilling dummy? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just have a regular seatbelt grip here. All right, I can have gable. If you wanna have both your hands on the collar, you can do that as well, right? Especially if you have a dummy that has a gi on. If you don't, then just right here, this is fine, okay? I need to make sure that my chin is going to be connected to his shoulder, and my ear is connected to almost towards his ear here. So I want to be like the second head going out of his shoulder. I don't want to be like this, right? Especially if he falls to the weak side right now and he turns, he's already going to be able to get his back to the mat. Okay? He can't fall to this side. I mean, he could, but it wouldn't be great for him to get because he would be going into the choke. So the only thing that prevents him from getting his head to the mat is my head next to his, right? So if he falls to that side to escape, it's important that I keep my head here. Because even if he tries to sit out, right, it's going to be hard for him to have control, right? Now, if he beats my head, he gets his head to the other side. Now he escapes. I'm sorry. So really important that detail. Were you guys able to see that? So how does the drill look? I have to keep my head blocking his head from getting to the mat. So he falls to the side that he wants to escape to. He's gonna hop over my leg, right? This should look kind of familiar. This leg's gonna stay in, okay? I don't have to bring it over. I can actually just keep it right here. But now I'm gonna use my weight into him, okay? I'll lean my weight into him, and I can actually put my weight into him so I can stand and then slide my knee up, and now I can sit, and now I can put my hook. Now he's gonna fall to the strong side. And you do the same thing. Now I'm in. You're able to see that? I know it's moving a lot. Right off. Here. As you saw, I was getting faster and faster and faster, okay? So this is just a drill, all right? Realistically, the moment that someone is on the strong side, the attacking side, I'm not gonna let them back reset to the other. I'm gonna try and keep them on that side, right? And I'm only gonna really use the back reset if they fall to the escaping side, or again, like if they're really trying to like bridge up onto me, I can now maintain the back. And there's so many different ways we can keep maintaining this back control. Again, while my chest is attached to his back. And then as you start getting used to this, you're gonna start looking, or you start seeing more opportunities to attack in transition, which is something I really like doing, which is as I'm transitioning, right, I'm getting them from a weak side to the strong side, and they're worried about blocking the hook. That's when you can change your grip and go for a submission attack. This is typically where I go for my bow and arrow. The one that I'm most known for is a lot of attacking in transition, or a lot of setting up submissions from the back, because they're so worried about the back control, like they don't want the hooks to come in, right? That they forget about being submitted. So questions on that one? I would suggest do your best to do drills of like 30 seconds. First time you're going through it, have it being like super slow, and then do like another 30 seconds of doing it a little bit faster. And then once it feels comfortable, then doing 30 seconds and 30 seconds with a dummy. First time doing it slow, and then the second time doing it a little bit faster. And you notice too, like the faster you go, I'm taking less steps, I'm just sliding right into it so I can sit right away. Of course, my husband said my dummy. My junior is not resisting to my, no.
He's a dummy. He's a dummy.
Who said that? Tremont, you're gonna come back eventually. Eventually, you'll be back.
No, Darnell said that.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna be back earlier than ever. So you're gonna stop at the most. You're fat. It's easy.
But during the
Look at Talia there.
During the drilling, if you have a partner, they're gonna help you out by like, taking the hook off and hopping over the leg, like how they would.
I'm gonna just say this.
How they would.
Like I'll say this because you know how much I love the back, and anything concerning the back will call my attention, of course, more than anything else in jiu-jitsu. But this is a really, 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 really awesome drill. Seriously. Like I proud myself to be one person that does not lose the back easily, or does not, like if somebody's trying to escape, I'll keep going after it. But by doing drills like this, the professor's showing you, man, it will make your capability of staying on the back and getting the back much better. Like anybody that rolls with Professor knows, like she's really hard to get off once she gets to the back. You know, this is because she does stuff like this.
And this is just like a basic intro into back retention, because
There's a lot more.
I mean, I have a whole DVD, which, there's a big segment, which is just all back retention drills.
Yeah, you know that news on your back?
And they are not nice, they are not friendly, they are pretty brutal. So I can go into those later on.
Guys have the DVDs.
Yeah,
Come on, Eric. So all of them have the DVDs. I just don't know who watched them and who didn't.
Like the other day I was
Yeah, I watched it.
with Junior.
I think Darnell did. Like, I was doing the moves on him a lot, and I did it to you too, and Coach Mike. So.
The last time I rolled with Junior, and then he was trying to take my back.
It's all right.
And then I was like, oh, this
It's all right.
guy is about to use my own damn move against me. And
You gotta
this is
be-
unacceptable.
You gotta be a good student in music, whatever your professor
This
teaches
is
you.
unacceptable. How
Use it
dare
on the
you?
master.
I'm so offended that you would put your knee in my
But
back.
that's a good student, right?
But you didn't. I mean,
It wasn't fully
it wasn't
there.
fully
It was
there.
one
I
knee.
I defended it.
Yeah, you did fine, but
I
you
defended
know.
it, but I was very unhappy about it. In which case, afterwards, I choked him, but he's scared. So he flew
Yeah, I
off.
went outside
He flew
about it.
off the mat.
She's like, was it tight? I said, no, it was tight. I said, you know what? In desperate moments, desperate measures.
The time has come.
Yeah, just
So-
go out of bounds, yo, out of bounds.
So know that I teach you this with utmost care and
Yeah.
love, because I don't want it done to me. Please don't ever try doing it against me. I know you will. I'll be happy if you do, but I'll also be very sad.
Yeah, guys,
For
definitely
the same
practice
reason.
a lot. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it for today. The drills are especially the back retention drill itself, it's a lot of information. It takes a while for some people to get, because it is a lot of like body awareness and mobility and a little bit of flexibility involved with it. Again, like if you're not flexible to just sit right into your knee, like being the proper place, just lean forward a little bit more, propping up on your forearms or your elbows to help, so that you can kind of push yourself up. Again, like when you're doing it by yourself, it's hard because you don't have anything to lean on. But when you have a person, you're gonna be putting your full weight onto the person to help get you up. So being able to do it solo means that you'll also bypass that, oh, I feel bad about putting weight on a person. Because if you don't put the weight forward, you're not gonna be able to sit up. You're not gonna be able to come up. So you have to make the person uncomfortable.
Question.
Can we use the dummies that we used Saturday for the same thing?
Yeah.
It's gonna be harder, right?
Harder.
If you have a stiff dummy, it's definitely harder to do.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want a dummy that can bend at the hip at the very least.
They can still do it on that one, but it'll be harder.
Yeah, and if you can't do it with that dummy, then you can try definitely use the make your own one, like with a pillow, or even just using a regular pillow. You can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of like having something that you're hugging. You just have to hug something, and then you can recreate the leg movement all on your own. Like, again, like you have a better awareness of where your legs are supposed to go with a person there, like as opposed to going to a hook or going to mount, right? But the first part is actually understanding what you're doing up here while maintaining this connection here. So without a dummy, you're either holding your gi, or just having your hands here, or having your hands like this, and then with a dummy, you're gonna have something here. Yeah, a seatbelt grip. But you need to be posting on everything other than your hands, head, shoulder, and using your feet to help elevate. And then record yourself doing it too, because then you're also gonna be able to see when it's right. Sometimes when you do it and you do it right or you do it wrong, you don't necessarily know how you're doing it right or wrong, other than like it feels right or feels wrong. But when you see it, then it's easier for you to kind of correct it. So try and get some video of you doing it for like 30 seconds or a minute, and then feel free to share too. So then that way we can also have like a comparison. Or if you come in for like the classes here, like that outdoors, before or after class, feel free to ask if there's anything that you can improve on, or if you're having trouble
Especially
with.
Monday or Wednesday. You guys have the time.
Monday and Wednesday, we have we have nothing but time after class is done. So
Yeah.
that is the best time to pick our brains and ask the questions on techniques that weren't necessarily making sense at home because we're not there to correct it for you. So please bring those questions here so we can address them and help you. So